A big piece of news that I did want to cover, because we have been talking about Pi Network, is if Pi can succeed without a major exchange, and apparently there's not going to be a listing for Pi on Binance. Pi Network launched with a bold, although somewhat far-fetched mission: make cryptocurrency mining accessible to anyone with a smartphone. It's not really mining, but whatever. No expensive hardware, no complicated setup, and just a simple tap once a day, like an addiction or something. While the idea would have Hal Finney turning in his grave, the concept gained traction quickly, drawing in millions of users around the world and building one of the largest crypto communities to date. Naturally, as interest in the project grew, expectations around listings on major exchanges, especially Binance, began to build. In fact, more than 2 million of Pi Network's users participated in a community poll in early 2025, with 86% voting in favor of pursuing a Binance listing. Yet, as of April 2025, Pi Network's native token, Pi, is still not listed on Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange by trading volume. In fact, there's not even been an official statement from Binance. It's a bit like knocking on a neighbor's door for help and watching the curtain twitch, but no one ever opens. So why has it not been listed? Unofficially, concerns have circulated within the broader crypto space since Pi Network's mainnet launch in February 2025. Critics point to artificially inflated user metrics, Ponzi-style dynamics, obviously, centralized control of the network and tokenomics, or the lack thereof, as dead giveaways. I mean, the biggest giveaway, like, do we really need to show this again? But we'll do it again for anybody that hasn't seen my previous videos. As you, oh, dear Lord, this thing's a fucking mess, dude. The FDV is $66.1 billion with a current circulating supply market cap of $4.54 billion, which is already way overpriced. With a total supply slated to be $100 billion right now, that gives you the fully diluted value. It's just not sustainable as more unlock. Obviously, a big unlock is coming in July too. So we will probably continue to see, poor performance from the Pi token. That would be my bet. Don't trade, but it is what it is. If I can get a mod to ban that Boris dumbass, that'd be cool. If not, I'll go over and ban him. Let's go grab it. All right, Boris, get the F out of here with your scam. We already know what the OKX wallet scam is. Been there, done that. Continuing back on the Pi network here. Binance's Vote to List initiative favors projects built on the BNB Smart Chain. Pi Network operates on its own blockchain, so it doesn't meet the core eligibility criteria. Binance expects clear and public disclosures about how a token is issued, locked, or burned. So far, Pi has not provided the level of detail that major exchanges typically require. Without that transparency, it's difficult for platforms to assess the integrity of the token's economics, which are obviously a mess. You can look at that and see it. It's clear as day on CoinMarketCap. And in regions like Vietnam and China, Pi Network has come under scrutiny for operating in the way that resembles multi-level marketing, which I've addressed in the past. That kind of classification introduces regulatory uncertainty, something major exchanges prefer to avoid. And while Pi has made its way onto other platforms such as OKX, BitGet, and MEXC, none of them bring the same level of exposure or liquidity. Without access to Binance's massive user base and credibility, it's hard for Pi to gain serious traction in the broader market. Since then, Pi's price line has been choppy. Short-lived spikes have mostly been driven by speculation, often around mainnet rumors or exchange teasers, but they've consistently been followed by corrections. The token has struggled to maintain upward momentum, and trading volumes remain thin compared to more established projects. The Pi core team has said it's been working on its improving transparency and tightening up regulatory side of things. That's a step in the right direction, but whether it's enough to win over Binance or any other top-tier exchange is still up in the air. Pi Network does have certain advantages that could allow it to grow without relying on top-tier exchanges. First, its user base is massive. Of course, there's skepticism surrounding that user base. Pi claims tens of millions of users, numbers most crypto projects would kill for. Of course, I guess they have KYC. I'd like to see the KYC numbers. How many people are KYC'd would be the biggest indicator as if that number is accurate or not. Of course, if you KYC'd yourself for Pi, well, you're not a cypherpunk and you need to get the fuck out of my channel. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's okay. Don't KYC yourself though. Come on, dude. So, second, the Pi core team has emphasized real world usage. Through campaigns like PiFest, it has tried to prove that Pi is a functional currency as well as a speculative asset. Over 125,000 merchants reportedly signed up to accept Pi during the March 2025 event. That sounds pretty good. Even though the actual payment volume remained flat, the infrastructure is at least starting to form. The team also continues to build its own ecosystem, wallets, decentralized applications, and even a proprietary KYC system, rather than relying on third-party platforms or validators. If Pi can evolve into a closed-loop economy where users earn, spend, and exchange Pi within its own environment, major exchanges may not be as critical. Now, my theory has been we're moving away from, centralized exchanges as seen in the drop in stock price for Coinbase, as we see the app downloads for Phantom skyrocket past that of Coinbase and Crypto.com. There is an argument for the idea that centralized exchanges will become less and less impactful on the success and from a price perspective on individual cryptocurrencies. And that would be my biggest argument for, Pi in general, right? In theory, Pi could carve out its own lane, not as a speculative coin trade on open markets, but as a digital currency used in peer-to-peer economies and low-cost marketplaces. Despite the initial hype, Pi Coin's performance since its mainnet launch has been dismal. The token is facing major inflation pressures. Over 124 million Pi is being unlocked in April alone, with a total of 1.53 billion entering circulation in the next year, pushing the supply to over 8.2 billion. Meanwhile, the migration process is broken. Only a fraction of users have been able to complete KYC and access their coins, with many reporting lost tokens or endless verification loops. While smaller exchanges like OKX and BitGet list Pi, tier 1 platforms like Binance, Coinbase, and Kraken have steered clear. The lack of transparency from the Pi core team on development milestones and token economics only deepens user frustration. At the end of the day, the thing is tokenomics don't lie. A fully diluted value of 44 billion is unsustainable, and the real price of Pi token, at the end of the day, best case scenario, outperforming kaspa, outperforming every other layer 1 currently in existence. If it would, even if it's outperforming all of those with its fully diluted value, the price would have to come down to like 4 cents per Pi. So just take that into account, right? And at 4 cents per Pi, you're talking about a $4 billion, a 4 billion fully diluted value. And there are massive success, way more successful projects that are not even close to that, right? So it's just from a mathematical perspective, it just doesn't make sense, right? Like there's not enough users. There's way too many tokens, and everything is inflated by everything being locked up, and these incentivized lockups, etc., requiring KYC to unlock tokens, delaying people from being able to unlock them, thereby delaying them from, essentially selling them. All of that is going to cause a lot of issues for the Pi token. And I don't see it getting any better, frankly. I just see the price continuing to go down until it reaches, like pennies below 10 cents. And then at that point, we could discuss if it will be viable in the future or not, right? But as of right now, you don't want to be, buying a bunch of Pi token. Obviously, if you're mining it, you've KYC'd, that sort of thing. Like I've said in the past, I would probably just sell it as I can sell it from what I've mined. That's how I would treat it until you're at a point to where it has upside potential and a majority of the liquidity has been unlocked. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. If you would like to see more from this particular episode, take a look up here. Don't forget to also subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support me directly, you can go to sonofatech.locals.com and become a member. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday.